Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook. Bring you an NFL Week 5 preview between the Cleveland Browns and the New York Giants. So let's look at some keys to victory for both teams, starting with the Browns.
Right now, we know the Browns offense goes through Trent Richardson, and I really believe they have to get him the football more. You have to ease a young quarterback into the ball game, especially against some outstanding rushers that they're going to face against the New York Giants. They have to make sure they get the running game off to an excellent start and try to work the run to operate the pass off play action. And the receivers definitely have to step up even more so. This week, you got to have guys like Josh Gordon, Greg Little, catch the football, Travis Benjamin. Those guys have to be consistent against the Giants secondary if they're going to have some plays in this game. Now, defensively, it's all about taking away the slot wide receiver. The Giants do a lot of things well in the passing game, but I think getting pressure on the quarterback and taking away the slot receiver is key. So let's go inside the lab to see how the Browns can go about eliminating the slot wide receiver.
If the Browns are going to have a chance this week in defeating the New York Giants, they got to make sure they eliminate the slot wide receiver, which is a big part of the New York Giants offense. Let's show you how you could take out the slot receiver, which was, in this case, it'll be Victor Cruz. And we like to call this, when we're out there on defense, I like to call this the Bermuda Triangle of coverage. Why? Because those three guys are going to be vital in taking out the slot receiver, which is why I have the nickel guy lined up on the outside shoulder of the slot receiver. Why? You want to force him inside where your help is, in case you have this guy buzzing to this zone, and you always have your safety. Depending on the coverage you're using, you want to force the slot receiver inside where the help is. If you allow him to come outside, it widens out your defense, it widens out your coverage, and it also puts you more vulnerable for everyone else to get open. So you want to keep this guy flushed, and you want to funnel him inside to what we call the Bermuda Triangle of coverage. Why? Because that's where all your help is. So it's important for the nickelback, or if they're going to walk a backer out there, to make sure they stay on the outside of the slot wide receiver, which is why I know I always preach, don't give up inside release, but this will be a situation where you can give up inside release to the outside guy, depending on the coverage, to help eliminate him, get him going in this trash right here so that we can keep him boxed in with high-low coverage or even bracketed coverage. So I think that's how the Browns can eliminate the slot receiver this week versus the New York Giants.
Let's move over to the New York Giants. You look at what the Browns want to come in and do. They're going to try to attack these guys vertically with the two tight ends they have in Jordan Cameron and also Ben Watson. So guys like Stevie Brown and Will Hill will have to step up huge in the absence of Kenny Phillips alongside of Antrell Rolle. So the safeties are going to be vital this week for the Giants. Now in the running game, the Browns also want to test the interior of the Giants defense. They're going to run downhill at the Giants. Chase Blackburn has to be ready for the task of tackling Trent Richardson, also covering him out of the backfield. Now you look at the offensive side of the football, Kevin Gilbride, some say he's predictable, some say he's creative, but let's go back inside the lab to see how the Giants can create some more creativity with their running game.
I think the Giants can get a little bit more creative in the running game to help jumpstart that running game. They've done a great job so far this season, but here's how they can do so versus Cleveland. And I'm going to isolate Martellus Bennett right here. The reason why I'm doing it this way, blocking it this way, because I want to get an extra lineman on the second level. You get a big guy on a small guy, simple physics, the small guy is going to lose. So you want to get the tackle up here to the second level. You want to pull his backside guard to get him on this strong safety. But how are we going to block this defensive end? With Martellus Bennett. And how? Yo-yo motion, dummy motion, idiot motion, whatever you want to call it. You have him coming across the formation, you have him coming back, and right before the ball snaps, this is where outside leg of the tackle, so Bennett can block effectively that defensive end, entertain him, is going to allow these guys to get to the second level. Center will crash down on that technique right there, pulling this guard into the hole to get the strong safety as you have whomever is going to be in the backfield, Wilson, Brown, Bradshaw, getting him up on the second level. So if the Giants can get a little bit more creative in the running game, I think they'll do fine. But it's all about getting Bennett on the move. Bennett right now is proven to be a huge asset to this team, but if they get him on the move, help him block this defensive end, that way you can get this guy to the second level. Big guy on a smaller guy, definitely big guy on a smaller guy, should be a win for the Giants offense.
Now let's take a look at the personnel breakdown in this matchup. You see the Browns are not that bad of a football team. They just have inconsistencies at the QB spot and the receiver spot, which means the passing game lacks, and that could be a detriment moving forward, especially in this ball game against a team that loves to get after the quarterback. X factor for the Browns has to be TJ Ward, because the Giants have a newfound weapon in Martellus Bennett, the tight end. They have to take that away if they're going to have some success, and that's all up on the shoulders of TJ Ward. The Giants' X factor has to be Sean Locklear, the right tackle. He's going to be facing an outstanding pass rusher in Jabal Sheard. He has to keep him out of the backfield for these guys to have success. I'm going with the Giants in this ball game. I think this is a solid football team, top to bottom in all three aspects of the game. And even though the Browns match up very well versus the Giants offense, the Giants defense matches up very well versus the Browns offense. And I think they can play the run on the way to the quarterback, putting the Browns in backed up situations and ultimately winning this game. And I also want to give a huge shout out to Browns fans and Giant fan forums for always showing football game plan support.